Friends, we have explained in detail the revenue, cost, and thereby producers' equilibrium, both the approaches. Now we move on to the next topic, that is supply. So, what is supply? Supply basically means the quantities of output which the producer is willing to sell at different prices. The supply can be studied in two forms, individual supply and market supply. Individual supplies refers to the supplies by an individual firm, and market supply refers to the summation of supplies at different prices by various firms in the market. Now, what is a supply schedule? Supply schedule means that when we show in a tabular form the different levels of quantities supplied at different prices, the same can be drawn for individual and market. For an individual supply curve, we'll take different prices and output by one firm, and for a market supply schedule, we will take the prices and at various prices what are the supplies by different firms like firm A, firm B and firm C. And then the market supply can be calculated as simply by the horizontal summation of firm A, B and C. Now, you know that price and quantity for supply have a positive relationship. As prices of the commodities increase, producer feels that the profits will increase, and so he increases more of a commodity at higher prices, and when the prices collapse, reduces the production of those goods. So this means that there is a positive relationship between price of the commodity and its supply. Price goes up, supply goes up, price goes down, supply goes down. So supply curve will be upward sloping. Now, for your knowledge and for information, both the supply curves, market supply, individual supply have been shown, and in the tabular form, the market and the individual supplies have been made in the coming slides. So just take a look at the various supply curves for the market and for the individual. Now let's move on to what are the determinants of supply. What are the various factors on which the supply of a commodity depends? First determinant of the supply of a commodity is its price, and the price and supply are positively related. As the price goes up, supply goes up. As price goes down, supply goes down. Second is change in technology. If change in technology is healthy, that means there is an improvement. This means supply will increase. If the technology becomes outdated, supply will decrease. Third point is change in price of inputs. If the inputs required to produce a given output become very expensive, then its supply will go down, and if they become cheap, then its supply will go up. Fourth point is change in taxes. If the taxes imposed by the government are increased in number or quantum, then it means that supply will decrease, and vice versa. That is, if the rate of taxes is decreased, then supply will increase. For example, excise duty. If excise duty बढ़ जाती है तो supply कम होगी. अगर excise duty कम हो जाती है तो supply ज़्यादा होगी. Now next point is objectives of the firm. Firm's main objective in modern times is not just profit making. Firm may rest on the objective of sales maximization. So if firm feels that its objective is not profit but sales maximization, then it will increase the supply. Then next point is price of other goods. Supposedly a firm is producing two goods, say A and B. If the price of B rises, so this means that producer will find manufacturing B more profitable, so this will induce the firm to direct its resources to produce more of B, and obviously it will curtail or cut down the production of A. So this is how the change in the prices of the other goods also affect the supply of a commodity. Now, after being familiar with the determinants of supply, let's move on to the law of supply. As we did the law of demand, here we are doing law of supply. Law of supply states that there is a positive relationship between the price of the quantity supplied. This means that price increases, supply increases, price decreases, supply decreases. This law is based other things being equal. Now, what are these other things? These have been kept as constant in the form of assumptions. So the main assumptions are that price of related goods is fixed, technology does not change, goals of the firms do not change, cost of the factors of production remains same, government's taxation policy also remains same. Now let's check out the law of supply in the form of following table and diagram. The table shows that as prices are increased, supply increases, and the diagram depicts an upward sloping supply curve. Now, the next thing that we have to study today is extension and contraction of supply. When supply changes due to change in price, this is called extension or contraction. Let me say it a bit more specifically. When due to fall in price, the supply contracts, that means the supply decreases, this is contraction. When due to rise in price, supply increases, this is extension. Both extension and contraction occur along the same supply curve, or we can call it movement along the same supply curve. The same has been shown in the following diagram. Just take a look at it. Now we move on to another concept of increase in supply. Increase in supply means that supply is increasing due to factors other than price. This is also called as a shift in supply curve towards right. And we can take up one of the cases and see it in the diagram and schedule below. See, the price is same, but there is more supply. So this means that this is attributed to some other factors and not price. Here, the whole of the supply curve is shifting rightward. Now let us check out what could be the possible causes of this increase in supply. Well, the first cause is fall in price of inputs. As I told you earlier, if inputs become cheaper, supply will be increased. If technology is improved, supply will be again increased. If excise duty goes down or taxation is reduced, then supply will increase. And if the firm shifts its goal from profits to sales maximization, then again supply will be increased. Now, let's move on to the second part of this, that is decrease in supply, or when the whole of the supply curve shifts towards left. Well, whole of the demand curve will shift toward left only when the same price, on the same price, supply gets less or quantity supplied is decreased. This means that this is due to factors other than price. And what could be the possible causes of this decrease in supply? Either the price of the inputs has increased, or the technology has become outdated, or the taxation by the government, for example, excise duty has increased, or the price of the other goods has risen. This means the producer is finding the other goods more lucrative to manufacture, and that's why he has cut down on the supply of the given good. Now let's move on to the concept of price elasticity of demand. We have already studied in detail price elasticity of demand, and now we are going to take up price elasticity of supply. See, elasticity of supply means responsiveness of change in supply due to change in price. Elasticity basically means responsiveness of change in one variable due to change in another. And here we are referring to price elasticity of supply. So it will be change in supply, quantity supplied due to change in price. You should be knowing that price elasticity enables us to know how much quantity supplied is expected to change when the price of different goods changes. Let's take a look at the various degrees of price elasticity of demand. In the first case, we see that the supply curve is parallel to y-axis. That means at different levels of the price, the supply is not changing at all. In other words, price elasticity of supply is 0. In the second case, we can see in the diagram that the supply curve is parallel to x-axis. That means even at the same level of price, supply can increase infinitely. So this means perfectly elastic supply, or infinity is the elasticity of supply. If the extended supply curve touches y-axis, this means that your supply is more than unitary elastic. And if the extended supply curve touches the x-axis, this means that supply is less than unitary elastic. And if the supply curve, when extended, starts from origin, this means that it is unitary elastic supply. All these cases should be carefully noted. More, less, or unitary basically imply that proportionate change in supply is, in case of more than change in price. In case of less elastic supply, the proportionate change in quantity supplied is less than change in price. And in case of unitary, the proportionate change in supply is equal to the change in price. Now, what are the various methods of measuring price elasticity of supply? In your syllabus, we will be dealing with only two methods. One is called percentage method and the other is called geometric method. So let me just talk about the percentage method first. For the percentage method, we will be taking up the formula percentage change in quantity supplied divided by percentage change in price into 100. Now, as far as geometric method is concerned, here we have to study the segment, the horizontal segment. Horizontal segment is that segment where supply curve touches the x-axis. So we have to study this segment and then we have to divide it with quantity supplied at that level to calculate the elasticity of supply. There can be three cases and the same have been shown in the form of the diagrams, which can make things more clear to you. In the first diagram, we can see that supply curve starts from the origin, and here the horizontal segment is also OQ and the quantity supplied is also OQ. So OQ upon OQ will be 1. So this means that when supply starts from the origin, the elasticity of supply will be 1. In the second case, the supply curve when extended touches the x-axis. So your AQ will be the horizontal segment and OQ will be the quantity supplied. Now let us divide AQ by OQ. But AQ is less than OQ, so here the elasticity will be less than 1. In the third case, when extended, you can say the supply curve, you can clearly see that the supply curve touches y-axis and AQ is the horizontal segment, whereas OQ is the quantity supplied. But AQ is greater than OQ. So this means that elasticity of supply will be more than 1. So now, dear friends, it's very clear to you how we have to calculate the elasticity of supply. While calculating the elasticity of supply or answering any question regarding it, there are three main points to remember, which I'm repeating once again. That elasticity of supply of a straight line supply curve will be unitary if it passes from origin, and if it, when extended, touches the x-axis, it will be less than 1, and if, when extended, it touches the y-axis, it will be always greater than 1. So let's do a few numerical problems on calculation of elasticity of supply. First problem that we are going to take up is, a seller sells 80 quintals a day when the price is rupees 4 per kg and elasticity of supply is 2. How much quantity of potatoes will be supplied when price rises to rupees 5 per kg? So students, just note here what things you have been provided with. We have been given the original quantity or Q0, that is 80 quintals. Then original price is rupees 4, new price is rupees 5, and delta P, the change, is rupee 1. Now, the new quantity, that is Q1, we have to calculate, and elasticity of supply is given to be 2. We are very much familiar with the formula of calculating elasticity of supply, that is delta Q upon delta P into P0 upon Q0. So delta Q will be Q1 minus Q0, that is Q1 minus 80. Q1 we'll write as it is because we have to calculate it. This will be divided by delta P, that is change in price, that is rupees 1 per kg. So we'll divide it with 1. Then we'll multiply it with P0. That is original price is 4 and original quantity, that is 80, 4 divided by 80. So 4 divided by 80 would be 1 by 20. So Q1 minus 80 upon 20. This should be equated to elasticity of supply, that is 2. 20 we'll take over to the other side. It will be multiplied with 2. This will give us 40. Q1 minus 80 will be equal to 40. When we take 80 to the other side, we will add it because the signs change. So 40 plus 80 will be 120. So that means that as price rises from 4 kgs to 5 kgs, the quintals to be sold will also rise from 80 to 120. So this is the new quantity. And this is how we have calculated what was missing with the help of the data given. Now let's calculate one more numerical. This numerical, we have been provided with a table. Table shows different quantities supplied at different prices. Now we have to calculate the elasticity of supply when price changes from 6 to 4. And respectively, you can see that your quantity has changed from 5,000 to 3,500. So what will be delta Q? 1,500 upon delta P will be 2 into original price 6 upon original quantity, that is 5,000. So we have all the values very clearly given to us. The numerical has been solved for you. You can see it. You just have to put the values and you can calculate the answer. Is that clear to all? So similarly, with the help of the formula of elasticity of supply, that is delta Q upon delta P into P0 upon Q0, we can solve various numericals relating to the elasticity of supply. Thank you.